Stop! In the name of Time Warp TV.
Want to win great prizes this summer? Ckvr presents the Time Warp. Who said that contest?
Who am I?
Oh, he's our Prime Minister. Mayor Barry? Oh, I don't know.
When you spend your summer lost in the Time Warp, you could win great prizes. For details on how you could win, tune into the Time Warp all day, all night, all summer, here on Ckvr.
Hey, you wacky cats. I'm coming to your town every night from 12 to 6. Let's watch, let's listen, let's stay tuned all the time.
When you enter the Time Warp on Ckvr, you might be able to win great prizes. All you have to do is tune into the Time Warp for Lucy, Andy, Mash, Fernwood, Lost in Space, Happy Days. Then when you're lost in the Time Warp, watch for details on how you can win fabulous prizes. So prepare to enter the Time Warp all day, all night, all summer, here on Ckvr.
Hello there, Nabu Perini, man of the future. I'm a classically trained Shakespearean actor. Perhaps you've seen me in the Patterson production of Bay City Beat.
No, not really, but I may have seen you out in the backstretch.
Ooh. Here's the Big E's here.
How do you do? How are you? How are you?
Now, can you answer, I've always wondered, why is the moose's nose so long?
I don't know.
He has a really long nose.
Yes, he does.
Is that some sort of hunting thing he has?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Probably it helps him in his smell and in his nature, but I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, I happen to think the moose is a great sort of animal. And I'm sure Sault Ste. Marie is, it's a fine, fine place to raise a moose.
It is. It is indeed.
Anything you'd like to say to Elvis?
Well, just say, how's she going there, Elvis?
I can't complain, sir. Can't complain. Yeah, if you got a burger on you, don't let the Big E see it.
Well,
Want to win great prizes this summer? Ckvr presents the Time Warp. Who said that contest?
Who am I?
Oh, he's our Prime Minister. Mayor Barry? Oh, I don't know.
When you spend your summer lost in the Time Warp, you could win great prizes. For details on how you could win, tune into the Time Warp all day, all night, all summer, here on Ckvr.
From the heart of Ontario, you're watching Ckvr.
Ode to Rusty. Rusty, oh Rusty, living in a sack that hangs off a wall. You're a chicken as well as a pal. Rusty, oh Rusty.
In the news tonight, winery wonder in York Region.
They're concentrating on quality. And, you know, for years and years, Ontario wines had to battle a bit of a stigma.
Stalking a nuisance in Collingwood.
And one, and the Blue Jays go down to the A's again.
CKVR Total News with Shereen Mansour, Doug Wilson on sports, and Allison Andley with weather. CKVR, the late report.
Good evening. Our news begins tonight in York Region, where Ontario's newest winery opened for business today. Steve Kirkland has the details.
The drawn-out recession may be taking its toll elsewhere, but here at this York Region farm market, they're expanding, introducing a product not normally found this far north.
And the whole secret behind the business is that we can now retail our own wines on location.
For the past 9 years, people have been able to drop by here at Southbrook Farms and pick their own strawberries or purchase certain gourmet items. Now there's going to be a new offering. Southbrook opened its on-site winery. Similar to the popular brew pubs that produce and sell their own beer, they'll be making and marketing their own wine here.
What we do is we buy the grapes. The grapes are coming from Niagara, actually just south of Niagara on the lake. We have them crushed there and brought up to York Region this year by tanker truck, and the wine is then fermented on location.
By vincing and selling on site, Southbrook Farms will also be able to avoid liquor board markups and offer its wines at discount prices.
So we're really seeing the development of a world-class wine industry here in Ontario. Now, this is on a smaller scale, but it's representative of the great quality of wines that are being produced here.
Southbrook's wines won't be found in stores or restaurants, but officials here aren't worried. They've added staff not just to operate the winery, but to handle an expected customer increase at the rest of the operation. West of Richmond Hill, Steve Kirkland, Total News.
To Collingwood now, where residents spent the day waging a war against a silent killer. It's known as Loosestrife, and it's sucking the life out of other plants in the area. We have two reports tonight, the first one beginning with Teresa Natalino.
And if there's any other weeds or grasses around, it's always a little easier if you pull them out as well.
It may look beautiful, but it's quickly destroying our wetlands. Purple loosestrife. It's responsible for the death of 1 million acres of marsh in North America. Collingwood residents are determined their waterfront won't become part of that statistic. Dozens gathered along the water today to pick the noxious weeds one by one.
These are more than just weeds. This plant has been referred to as the beautiful killer. Purple loosestrife has a tendency to dry up wetlands and destroy fish and wildlife habitat. It's very invasive in its growth habit, and you can see it throughout the wetland. It's just starting to flower now. It's taking over this wetland, and we need to protect it.
It's going to be a long, hard battle, I think, but it might help. Our service group, the Rotarians, offered to help, and being a good member, I thought I'd come out and do my bit.
We've come out as a group in order to sort of make an attempt at a little community spirit and to help with the environment.
Each plant produces about 2.7 million seeds every year, and as you can see, it just spreads from there. Recent studies show that purple loosestrife has made its way into every province and territory.
Purple loosestrife has been around for over a century. Several plants are similar in color, so it has taken environmentalists years to properly identify the weed.
It's got a square stem. If you grab the stem, as opposed to being round, you can use your fingers and run it along. It's square. You can feel it's square. And the leaves are opposite each other on the stem and then alternate up the stalk.
The idea is to get rid of the plants before they all bloom and spread farther. In Collingwood, Teresa Matalino, Total News.
They may look pretty growing out in front of your house, but after the purple loosestrifes release their 2.5 million seeds annually, they can suddenly become, well, not so pretty.
The people don't realize it overtakes their lawn, their gardens and everything, but it's actually a weed.
Garden Center manager Barry Lee remembers the days before anyone knew the loosestrife was a noxious weed. Instead, garden centers and nurseries are now stocking seeds for verified flowers that are just as decorative.
Well, a lot of people have gone to perennials, growing perennials, because they bring on the plants, and a lot of people start growing their daisies and their wildflowers and the hollyhocks, and they start bringing this stuff up and starting it in February and bringing it towards us and planting it in May.
If you're unlucky enough to have purple loosestrifes growing out back, you should try to destroy them as quickly as possible. Several kinds of weed killers should do the trick quite nicely, or if you can manage to keep the seeds from spreading, these can be easily uprooted by hand. The purple loosestrife is turning out to be one weed that's not as pretty as it was supposed to have been. In Barrie, Steve Kirkland, Total News.
Celebrations at St. Marie among the Hurons this weekend. It's their annual Shondekti, and this year's theme is canoeing. Once again, we hear from Teresa Madalino.
Shondekti is the Huron word for they return to such a place, and it's a celebration marking the year 1648, when much-needed supplies arrived in the Huronia area. Dressed in period costumes, members of the Survival in the Bush Club taught visitors how to make native pouches and jewelry. As well, they demonstrated cooking techniques.
This is a very primitive form of bread called Bannock. It's really just a flour and water mixture. And what we do is we get it to a consistency where it'll stick on a stick, wrap it around the stick, and then it's toasted just like a marshmallow.
In the 1600s, the canoe was the only mode of transportation, and the Hurons were very proud of building them. As you can see right now, we're taking a...
All summer long,
You'll be able to spend your days and nights lost in the time warp.
your guide through this electronic trip
For your senses,
Napo Perini. He'll lead you through the time warp every Saturday
night, so beware.
When you enter the time warp, you might stay there all day, all night.
All summer, right here on
CKVR. Don't move. An enormous
What is about to drop on your head? Time Warp and Land of the Giants is coming up next.
Laughter's the best medicine. MASH, weekdays at 5:30 on CKVR.
I'm going to go sit at my desk, and I'm going to stare at you for as long as it takes.
Oh, that frightening actor.
Sometimes that boy frightens me, Jennifer.
Oh, here.
What's the stroke feel like?
I never even saw that in the Ed Sullivan Show.
If you heard that, then you've been listening to the station.
Yeah.
weekdays. Enter the time warp for
Gilligan's Island and WKRP.
right here on CKVR. Time warp and the Giants.
We'll be right back.
Catch the magical world of Disney right here on CKVR. Experience the magic of sharing the night together.
Don't go away.
The Giants will be back in a flash on the time warp.
And the same flat country everywhere.
It all started when I got off my couch and got on my easy glider to watch football. Look what happened.
This is actual footage of Keith's home video showing his dramatic weight loss.
Mr. Presley.
Oh, what theater would you like?
I think the general public would like one admission ticket to Time Warp Television.
On Ckvr?
Yes. Every night, except for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and Sunday. So that would leave Saturdays from 12 to 6. Your ticket is your passport to entertainment, to adventure, to education. For instance, did you know that tree bark can be squeezed into a nutritious fruit drink?
Watch All in the Family weeknights at 7 right after Total News on CKVR.
I'm a crab! 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 Mr. E, I'm a crab!
I know that. I've worked with you now for weeks.
What can I do? Get me out of this crab state!
Maybe go to a plastic surgeon, get your claws removed.
I'm a crab! I'm a crab! You know what would stop me from being a crab?
Oh, what's that, Naboo?
If we could go to Land of the Giants.
Let's do that.
I'm a crab!
Roll it, Woody.
So I'm no longer a crab because we're going to Land of the Giants. Imagine what it can do for you.
You'll be able to spend your days lost in the time warp with the Beam and the Lucy Gilligan Mash. Your nights will be spent with the Time Tunnel, Lost in Space, Fernwood Tonight, and much, much more. Beware, when you enter the time warp,
You might stay there all day, all night, all summer, right here on
CKVR.
CKVR Television presents the first annual International Aurelia Ribbon Chicken Cook-Off and Hot Air Balloon Festival, August 6th to 10th. Fabulous live shows include Herman's Hermits, Bowser and the Stingrays, and Tom T. Hall. North America's best Sultans of Sizzle will compete for big prizes. Thrill to the sight of hot air balloons in flight. For the kids, free carnival rides and shows. Incredible. All this fun for one low price. Aurelia's first annual International Ribbon Chicken Cook-Off and Hot Air Balloon Festival, August 6th to 10th, Tudhope Park.
Ode to Rusty. Rusty, oh Rusty, living in a sack that hangs off a wall. You're a chicken as well as a pal. Rusty, oh Rusty. Hello, son.
All right. From the heart of Ontario, you're watching CKVR.
Oh, Naboo, look.
Yes.
Many people aren't aware of this, Naboo, but this is the first prototype engine for the USS Seaview.
Yes, this was the engine that first carried that mighty undersea vessel into its first few fantastic voyages. But then the producer went out and made a certain special upgrade, and well, now this is on display for all mankind to see. You'll notice that it seems to have an immense amount of power, and I think, yes, the ground is shaking. The ground is definitely shaking.
And it's good to a depth of 40 fathoms.
Yes. Speaking of voyage to the bottom of the sea, we got an episode coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's right, Naboo. By presidential decree, the Seaview has been taken over by a publicity-seeking scientist who wants to test the crush ability of the Seaview.
Damn scientists gone bad.
They're going to try and go low under the water and see if the Seaview can withstand the pressure.
I don't think you out there have time for smack or hesitation.
Question is, Naboo, can you withstand the pressure?
Want to win great prizes this summer? CKVR presents The Time Warp.
Who said that contest?
Who am I?
Oh, he's our Prime Minister.
Mayor Barry?
I don't know.
When you spend your summer lost in the Time Warp, you could win great prizes. For details on how you could win, tune into the Time Warp all day,
All night, all summer,
here
on CKVR.
Edith, you know you better keep a sharp lookout.
What for?
For the dingbat catcher.
When you read tomorrow today, tomorrow is tomorrow.
I don't want no creepos, weirdos, or sexos in my house. Come on, what are you talking about? What's Get out of here. Take all your junk with you. Here's your place.
Enter the Time Warp.
weeknights for All in the Family here on CKVR.
And they say there's no intelligent life out there. I say they're wrong.
I knew it'd be like this.
Me too.
When you
Enter the Time Warp on CKVR.
you might be able to win great prizes. All you have to do is tune into the Time Warp for Lucy, Andy, Mash, Fernwood, Lost in Space.
Happy days.
Then when you're lost in the Time Warp, watch for details on how you can win fabulous prizes. So prepare to enter the Time Warp all day, all night, all summer,
Here on CKVR.
CKVR Television presents the first annual International Aurelia Ribbon Chicken Cook-Off and Hot Air Balloon Festival, August 6th to 10th. Fabulous live shows include Herman's Hermits, Bowser and the Stingrays, and Tom T. Hall. North America's best Sultans of Sizzle will compete for big prizes. Thrill to the sight of hot air balloons in flight. For the kids, free carnival rides and shows. Incredible! All this fun for one low price. Aurelia's first annual International Ribbon Chicken Cook-Off and Hot Air Balloon Festival, August 6th to 10th, Tudhope Park.
Want to win great
Prizes this summer?
CKVR presents The Time Warp.
Who said that contest?
Who am I?
Oh, he's our Prime Minister.
Mayor Barry?
I don't know.
When you spend your summer lost in the Time Warp, you could win great prizes. For details on how you could win, tune into the Time Warp all day,
All night, all summer,
here
on CKVR.